So how about if introduce one Republican candidate for town council. His name's John Cronin. He's got extensive financial experience. Bio. He's got 20-year business career, a heavy background in finance, including running finance and administration functions with Reuters North America. He has a knack for numbers and he's dedicated to reforming the way that our town spends, taxes, and operates. So please welcome.
I'll be brief tonight, but thanks for the. No. Now?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, well, thanks, Carrie, for asking me to speak tonight, and I'm glad to have this opportunity to introduce myself. I'm running for town council because I believe we face some really big challenges. And while the recession started in 2007, I think the full impact has yet to be felt. And as we go into 2010 and 2011, government really at all levels is going to be struggling to kind of fill that gap between shrinking revenues and ballooning costs. I think that I come to this with a business background. I think I have really the skill set, the education, the temperament, the energy, and the ideas to help address some of the challenges that we face. I'm a 13-year resident of Armonk. I'm married with 3 kids for all the school system. We plan to live here for until the kids get out of school, so I'm not going anywhere. So that's really my principal motivation in doing this. As far as my educational and kind of professional background, I have a bachelor's in economics and a master's degree in business from Columbia University. I've studied accounting at the University of Southern California. I've got 20 years in business. I started with General Electric and their financial training program. I was an auditor with GE for a number of years, worked for a public accounting firm, and then I moved into some other functions. So with some larger companies, Kodak, a company called Sun Chemical, Reuters. I worked in a kind of a wide array of businesses, from anywhere from manufacturing to new media. So I've done a lot of different things. I've seen a lot of different things. And while I, understand that running a town isn't like running a business, I think there's a lot of the skills that I have, a lot of the things that I've learned, I can bring to bear for the benefit of the town. So what I'm really intending on doing, if I'm elected, is to focus a lot of my efforts on the budget. And I think, to echo some of the earlier comments, I think we really need to attack the cost structure that's in place. I would do, and I think I'm well qualified to do, a very thorough line-by-line budget review, very serious manpower study, reviewing staffing in every department, looking for productivity gains. It's something I've done in the private sector. I think it's something I'd be well equipped to help do on behalf of the town. I think we do need to look at salaries and benefits for all full and part-time employees. I personally will not accept any benefits, and I believe we need to look at how the officials in our town are compensated relative to neighboring communities. And then finally, and this touches a little bit on what Kerry was saying in terms of the leaf pickup and some of the other issues that have been, that there's been some contentious discussion around. And that's, we need to understand as a community what level of services, people are prepared to live with and pay for, and budget according to that level of services. So I think we need to have a real dialogue as a community, and I would suggest that we can do that by opening up the lines of communication. I think using technology, it really affords an excellent basis for kind of a give and take in terms of communicating with everyone in the community at large. I think we still need to hold regular town budget or town meetings and town board meetings, and we've discussed, my Republican colleagues and I have discussed, holding the town board meetings in different parts of town. So holding the meetings in North White Plains, holding the meetings in Banksville, so we really can include, be very inclusive of the entire community. During this campaign, I plan to be, available to speak at forums like this, and we welcome town hall meetings with all the neighborhood associations or really any of the party affiliated groups. I'd be happy to speak to the other party groups that have endorsed my candidacy, the Independent Party, the Conservative Party, as well as if there's a meeting organized by Democrats or Republicans, to speak there as well. But just to, and I'll finish quickly, but just to get back to the budget, after looking at the cost side, we really need to look at the revenue side of the equation. And I truly believe that the tax burden on homeowners is simply too great, and we need to make every effort to lessen that burden and reduce taxes. It's going to be a real challenge, but I think it's something we have to be making every effort to do. In terms of increasing the town's revenues, we need to put the commercial district to work. I think we need to market the town, perhaps to select retailers. We need to investigate some kind of creative zoning solutions that might encourage different types of businesses or different types of economic activity surrounding certain sectors of town. We need to solve, obviously, the parking problem and expand sewer capacity. Those are also issues, I think, impeding development. Maybe provide incentives to new businesses to move here in some way. I don't know how we do that necessarily with the revenue climate that we've got now, but we do need to draw new businesses here. This should be an attractive town for businesses to locate in. It's a town where the demographics are very appealing, and we have several very large employers whose employees pretty much get off 684, head into the office park, turn around and get back 684 at 5 o'clock. But if we had some businesses where we could somehow capture some of that business, I think it would have great appeal to any number of retailers. Just a couple more points. Streamlining the approval process, there have been some efforts made at doing that in terms of development. I think the development has to be smart. I'm not talking about out of control commercial development, but we do have a district that's owned commercial, and I think some of these projects should be fast-tracked. And finally, we need to look at the town's balance sheet. Are there assets that the town has that could be sold or in some way monetized that would allow us to again limit the tax burden on homeowners? Raising taxes can only, my position is raising taxes can only be considered after every other option has been exhausted. And I can assure you I will never vote for a budget that increases taxes until I'm convinced that we have exhausted every other opportunity. I think it's irresponsible to suggest we can't have tax increases. I think that's unrealistic. But I think it's our obligation to make every effort that we can to exhaust every other avenue. I'll close by saying that this is not a career switch for me. I plan to serve one 4-year term on the board and then go back to business full time. And I wanted to tell you this up front, so that everyone in town will understand that as a town councilman, I will only be doing what I think is right without consideration for future elections, also I think this will allow me to maintain my independence without really owing anything to anyone. So thank you all for listening and coming up. Yes.
Would you look to increase commercialization of the downtown area?
Speak up.
Would you work to increase commercialization of the downtown area?
Well, I think we have a commercial district, and I think that there are a lot of empty buildings in town. And if by commercialization you're saying, would I like to fill those up and as well
No,
as...
that's not what I mean. I mean increase and build more commercial